What's up, Hippo lovers? Empire Wars got introduced into the ranked queue. Empire Wars is basically a game mode that starts with 28 villagers. Most of the time we go for feudal age start. You have seen that often in the Red Bull Vololo tournament. We also start with a barracks, a blacksmith, and some drop-off points, as you can see here. I will explain to you how to approach Empire Wars at the start, and will mention some ideas about the three common strategies: the archer build-up, the scout build-up, and the eagle build-up. So you always start by queuing up 2 villagers and try to use your scout to either scout yourself or the opponent. And then you have to decide, okay, what am I going for? Archers, scouts, eagles, and that's most of the time a blind counter, because obviously you're far away from your opponent and don't really have the time to scout them and then go for your army. So this time I just blindly decide for archers. You're trying to fix your villagers a bit, make them a bit more efficient if you feel like it. And then the wood upgrade, didn't really have the wood at the start for that one, and around the 1 minute, 1.5 minute mark, you will have to start thinking about building a house, trying to design your base, continue scouting a bit, and add a spearman. Makes it way easier to defend. Get some army out, whatever you went for. Queue up some farms and probably delay horse color. Most of the time we go for horse color on the way to castle age, unless you know that you will go for a long feudal age. Then that could make sense as well. Design your base, try to be safe if you feel like it. Continue scouting, get an intel what your opponent is doing. So first of all, we will learn the scout build. Obviously 2 villagers queued up, then we are going on to sheep, use the scout, and all villagers pulled away from gold. Don't really need any gold income in that one. More villagers here on sheep, some microing all those builds, and we will continue to scout. Now first wood is dropped off, so double bit X, and you can start some farming. Try to get a good idea of what your opponent is going to go for. Continue with that one, and every time you get the 60 wood, queue up another farm, unless you want to maybe queue in a spearman if you feel like it. And that's basically it. The second build I want to show you is the archer build. As always, we queue up 2 villagers, send the scout out to get some intel, and then build the archer range, send the pigs in, try to micro a bit onto gold. With archers, the problem is that if the opponent is going for scouts, we are lacking quite some map presence, so we need to wall a bit more. We need to add the spearman a bit earlier. Now the wood upgrade, spearman being built, and you can wall your map up a bit. Houses here at the side, and we're trying to get some intel what our opponent is up to. As always with archers, only move out if you have fletching, but then your opponent sometimes struggles quite a bit if you get to his resources with like 2 spearmen, 2 archers. So that could be somewhat of a nice opening for you. A strategy that we have seen work really well in Red Bull 4 is the double barracks opening, and this is basically you sending some more villagers onto gold. We will add some more eagles, and you go for some aggression. Kind of have to now blindly assume, is my opponent going for scouts, is he going for archers, and then get a bit of a blind counter out. Do I want to add spearmen? How many spearmen do I want to add? And it feels like 1 spearman kind of always helps, unless you're in a meso mirror. And you can take the first trade. That's kind of fine for you here, decimating his numbers, and he will only survive with some low HP. And try to get the armor as well for those eagles if you can. Wall your base. Obviously mobility will be on the side of your opponent, simply because eagles walk so much slower. And yeah, whenever you feel like, okay, this could be a good time to engage, get the armor, get more eagles out, and you should be fine here. Maybe too much on gold at the very start, I would think. And yeah, create your base. All feels like very reasonable, and you can already get some engagement here. Maybe spearman earlier could have been a good thing here. And if he goes for archers, you're kind of fine transitioning into eagles in the long run. Make sure to be fully walled and get into strong eagle composition in castle age, and you should be fine against scouts. Just some more spearmen. Keep adding some farms, and you should have the better castle age timing than your opponent most of the time. Probably don't need to go for too many eagles if he goes for archers. Just buy yourself some time, wall your base up, and you should be fine. Which brings us to the question, which are the best civilizations for Empire Wars? Remember that all Dark Age bonuses are lost, so Chinese don't get their extra villages, Lithuanians, for example, don't get their extra food here. I will make a dedicated video for that one, the 5 best civilizations and the 5 worst civilizations in comparison to random map, so stay tuned for that. That's it from me for now. Goodbye, Hippo lovers.